Okay, welcome everybody. I think I got that right, just about. Not quite sure of the dodgy intro music there. Well, welcome,
I gotta say,
and welcome, Nick.
Thank you. The intro music, I learned a quick tip right there. You saw me dancing. If you listen to the intro music and at the same time, you get this like 4-second delay, and it's an absolute banger when it plays simultaneously. It's like, I can highly recommend it.
That's a great tip. Yeah.
There you go, mate.
I wanted to put the I was going to, if I had time and I didn't, I was going to put a little intro together, and I was going to use the test match special because it's still the cricket season. In a call out to Johnny Winter and go, Johnny, you should come and join the FPL
Nice.
FPL chat. But I didn't do it, so my joke's gone. Anyway, guys, welcome. Thanks for joining. This what I call this. I can't remember what I called it. Something like unlocking the secrets of success to FPL with data experts.
Wow, that sounds too serious.
It does sound serious, mate. It does.
It makes me sound like I shouldn't be here, to be honest.
I called it
see you
FPL,
next time. Yeah.
I called it FPL live stream, and then got ChatGPT to come up with something that would entice people to watch it, and that's what it came up with. So that's what it got called.
Love it. Oh,
right, guys. I have no idea how long this will last, but we'll have a bit of fun as we're going along. It's 2.5 hours until the first deadline. And have you both picked your teams yet? Nick, first question to you.
Is it like 90 minutes before the kickoff, or I think they changed something? Is it like 2 hours now, or is it still 90 minutes?
It's 6:30 today. Is the deadline for the sort of main?
Okay,
game.
then it's 90 minutes. My bad. Yeah.
The challenge. Yeah, no, it's 6:30 UK time, so it's going to be 7:30.
Yeah. It's still 90 minutes before the kickoff. Okay.
Yeah. It's still 90 minutes before, I think. And clearly, there have been some rule changes, though.
Nice rule changes.
We'll talk about those in a bit. But guys, how do you go about picking your team? What do you do?
Oh,
I'll address that to Ben first. I'll address that to Ben first because he's gonna answer it, and then we'll go to Nick after.
I mean, obviously, the start of the season is hard, right? I mean, do you trust the form from last season? Do you just say, okay, everything's like a blank slate and completely ignore it? Obviously, the rule changes, which I guess we'll talk about a bit later, do influence how you pick your team. So I've taken that into account a little bit. I tend to stick to my own mental rules. Like, for example, one of the rules that I have is don't pick any Spurs players because they let me down 100% of the time. And I've got nothing against Spurs, but stop letting me down. You know what I mean? So,
now, I have a similar rule. That I don't follow. It's like I don't pick Manchester United players because I don't want to cheer them on. But sometimes you have to put that to one side. Sometimes.
Yeah, I try to stay away from City players, which I know is a big thing because they're going to get points and whatnot. But I mean, I have got a couple of City players in my team. But I'm not sure if we're revealing teams just yet. But there might be a surprise for my team when it comes to City.
So no City. Sorry for interrupting. No City. No Spurs. So it's like Ipswich, Southampton, and Brentford. Or...
No, come on! Don't disrespect Ipswich. I've got 3 Ipswich players in there, right? No. So I've got full contingent Arsenal, couple of City players, right? But it's the rotation thing. It's the Pep carousel, or whatever you want to call it. That drives me crazy. But yeah,
it's hard. All of a sudden, they're on the bench.
Foden, right? Foden's the issue.
Yeah.
To Foden,
start every game.
Foden. Yeah. But I'm working. I think sorry, please, man.
No, I was just going to say. I think that's reflected in his price point as well, because he could have been as expensive as Palmer, but Palmer's probably nailed on to play every game, whereas that's Foden true. He's going to be
it's 9.5,
in and out
right?
a little bit more. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Also, Saka in Arsenal will play every game. Yeah, he's on penalties, same as Palmer.
You know
compared to Foden,
This conversation is going to make me regret every single choice that I've made for my team. This is a big mistake.
That's why I scheduled it like you have enough time to
change
things. Yeah.
So whatever you share now is all caveated with subject to change before the 6:30 deadline, right? That's all you need to do with that.
That's true.
So no City, no Spurs for you, Ben. Any others? I'll get Nick to explain this, and I'll tell you how I do mine, and we can share our teams and talk about the other stuff. Yeah. But is there anything else you do? Do you do any? You're a Power BI data person, Ben. Do you do anything with the data, or do you?
So yeah, I have my. So one of the things, I mean, I've been working with the FPL API data since like a long time, since like 2017. It's a fantastic API, and it did. I mean, when I get a little bit Power BI about this, it helped me learn a lot about using data, about using Power BI, and it was when I started doing like really hitting the parameters and Power Query and whatnot. So I have a report that I do use for all of this, and I look at that data when I choose my team this year. So I do think, okay, I look at some differentials, like points scored against people who selected those players and whatnot. I've looked at this season specifically for the defenders regarding clean sheets, which I don't usually do, but clean sheets being more important this year, I've kind of focused quite heavily on clean sheets for my defenders. Yeah, because clean sheets are going to have a bit more weight, right?
Right. Why are they having more weight?
I thought you lost more points this season if you concede. I thought conceding
bonus points. I think is where they lose. But you're all right. They won't get as many bonus points. Yeah, I'm really relying on my defense to get me. I think it's bonus points anyway. You are right. There's a small change. I think it's in and around bonus points, and it might be I've misread it, and you might be right there as well.
Tell you what, I never understand about FPL. Talking about from a pricing perspective, I never understand Trent. Like his price is wild. 7 million for a defender is wild, and it's not like he's always like top of. He's not.
Maybe he's always top. He wasn't last season, but in the 3 previous years, he was he wasn't the highest scorer in the game, but he was definitely the highest scoring defender.
Really?
Yeah, not last season.
I'm pretty certain he was. Okay, fair enough. So yeah,
but certainly was the season before.
Liverpool's a tough one because obviously new manager, new way of playing and stuff. And I'm having this conversation. I've just listened. I can't wait to show you my team. I've realized I've got no Liverpool players in my team. Like, what have I done, man? What have I done?
I'm glad we don't play for money, Ben.
The thing is, I actually used to every season until this season. I've stopped now. I'm like, no, I'm losing too much money, man.
Wow, no City, Spurs, or Liverpool. Okay.
No, I've got City. I got 2 City.
You got 2 City, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm keen to see your team, Ben. So I reckon you show us, and then we'll park our stuff. Nick, this is intriguing. I want to see Ben's lack of Liverpool Spurs and what it looks like.
Present.
Big reveal.
Share screen here. Okay, share screen. Which screen am I sharing? There you go. Share. Get with all the. You see my screen now or no?
Not yet, mate. No. Oh yeah, hang on. Let me add it in. So if I do that, add to stage. Yeah. Now I can see it. Yeah.
All right. So this is my team. All right. No Haaland.
No Haaland.
No Haaland. Okay. For what is he worth? 15 million? For 15 million?
15 million, yeah.
That's not doing it for me. I can't justify spending that much on a forward when, again, if you've been wildly top of the points last season, I would have gone for it. But I was like, I don't want to have Haaland on the team. My defenders, I've looked at basically, of course, minutes played, and I've looked at clean sheets and points. So I'm pretty happy with my defenders.
Okay.
As every single season, I'm not happy with my midfield. I'm literally never happy with my midfield.
Right.
Palmer, I've got Foden. And my logic is, okay, I'll stick Foden in there, and of course, if he doesn't play, it'll just be automatically substituted out. But if he comes on for the last 5 minutes, then I'm screwed, right? So I am going to make some changes to my team. I'm really the one I'm not sure about is definitely Foden. But I think Rice is a good pick because his value is, he's not particularly expensive. Yeah.
No, I think that's just because I had I wrote about Rice last year, and I compared him. I can't remember who I compared him to. Somebody else that moved. So he went for 100 million. It was Palmer went for 40 million in actual transfer fees.
Yeah.
But Rice isn't. He's not always going to get the goals because sometimes he plays that holding midfielder role. So he's not getting he's not good in FPL. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's just not good. He's not always good for FPL, but he did come in like the top 10 midfielders last year, and he was up there.
The one player I can't understand who I would like to have in my team from Arsenal is actually Trossard, but I just don't understand his existence at Arsenal because
it doesn't make sense to me that either.
The minutes he plays for the quality of the player that he is, he just doesn't get the minutes at Arsenal. But if you look at his like points per minute, is really good.
Yeah. He just doesn't play enough to.
He just doesn't play enough. So yeah, as I said, no Spurs players at all. If I just got my transfers, I forget who I was looking at. Who did Spurs just signed a forward? I forget.
Solanke from Bournemouth.
I was so tempted. If he'd signed for like a top 5 club other than Spurs, I would have gone for it. But as I say, Spurs. And having the 3
Come on, man! You have too harsh principles.
Every single time I put them in, like honestly, it's classic. They'll have 2 good games. Okay, they perform, and I'll stick them in for like 5 game weeks. Like nothing. Transfer them back out again is like 10.
No emotions here. No emotions here. Yeah.
I mean, look, just so you know, I support Sunderland. All right.
Oh, okay.
I have no.
But you have two players from Newcastle.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm such a traitor. So I've got no skin in the game regards any sort of bias here. So
how much budget do you have left, Ben? And how do you approach your budget and
I've got 0.5.
Do you save some up?
I always try to, but I always fail. You know, what I don't like about it is the fact that the problem with my squad, of course, is if Haaland does perform and he starts knocking, I can't transfer him in. You know, I can't. I would need to wildcard to do that. So
I guess it depends, doesn't it? So with the new transfer rules, if you can get through the first 3 weeks, you've then got like 3 transfers you could use to adjust probably enough. I envisage to get him in.
That's true. I always do. I always stick with my squad for 4 to 5 weeks just to see how things settle down. You know.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Not to make I follow that approach as well. I don't take too many changes.
I love this new rule.
Unless I get injuries. That's the only thing I'd change them for.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, I had to change my squad a bit because I looked at it. I sorted it all out, and then I took like a 2-week gap or whatever, 1 week, and I came back and I had like 3 players who were injured. I was like, oh, that's awesome, brilliant, that's a great start. So I had to kind of go back to the drawing board and do a couple of bits and pieces again. But I'm pretty happy that it's not going to be terrible. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be great. Havertz I've put in there because I think did pretty well last. I'm expecting Arsenal to do well again this season, like most people are. I mean, most people tipped them to be like second, basically. No one's tipped them to be first, pretty much, because everyone thinks City's going to win. So this is fair. Havertz, I'm kind of happy with him. So Watkins was amazing last season. We'll see. But this is, I mean, looking at my squad, what do you think are the worst things about it? You tell me. Give me some feedback, guys. I'm open to it. Your dog doesn't like it at all.
My dog is going mental here. Shut up.
He wants to provide a feedback on team.
He does, yes.
Your dog is
Your dog's a Spurs fan. He said he's injured.
We are getting some questions, guys.
Have we got questions? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
I just even see that.
I think Marzraoui, the new guy in United.
Right, okay. I don't know much about him. Has anyone heard of him before?
No,
I haven't either.
He used to play for Ajax with Ten Hag, so yeah. But I don't expect him to go straight into the first lineup. He just signed, I don't expect
most of Ten Hag's previous player signings have been awful.
Yeah,
they haven't been particularly good.
This question, will Watkins play?
Yes, Watkins will definitely be starting for Villa.
I assume. I mean, unless he's. I mean, I maybe
injured. He's not injured,
but I'm assuming he'll play. I mean, he's. Yeah.
He didn't play. So Benj there said, "Is Matty Cash an option?" I have Matty Cash in my team, Benj. And have you got Concert in yours? Is yours in that squad? Is that where that question's come from?
I haven't got
the same price, surely Cash. I picked Cash because of his value last season. At that price point, he was the best defender, and that's why I picked him.
Fair enough.
What else we got?
Look at defenders. White, Saliba.
Rudy's got Dalot, Virgil van Dijk, Barco, Saka. Now the new Chelsea guy, I never sure. Is it Nkunku? Is that how you say it? I'm not.
Nkunku,
that right. Nkunku, Salah, Ahmad, Alanga, Isaac Haaland. Suggestions, please. I've got some of those in my team, Rudy. I'll show you those in a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything to influence your team, Ben. I think I think it's not a team I would have picked.
That's so nicely put. It really is.
I do have some. We do have some.
You wanted to say it's a shitty team, yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. This is fine. But this is what I'm saying. I feel like such a pretender being here. It's amazing how much data I can read and still pick a shit team. It's insane. But because the thing is, what I've really learned over the past years of playing FPL is that it's not enough just to have the data. You have to also combine that with the knowledge of the game. And to be honest, I like football. I love to watch football, but I'm not the sort of fan who's like really into it. And like I do stupid things. Like people are mentioning in the chat here, like players who are new to the league. I forget about those players. Why? Because I only look at my data. Yeah. And my data doesn't, of course, include the new players. No. So maybe we're
going back to Amani's question there. He says Eric Ten Hag said he'd be starting. The new player Mazuki will be starting against Fulham, which is great. I just don't know him very well.
Yeah.
Looking at the expected goals of both teams, this could be a score draw, in my opinion. Fulham versus, but my pick from Manchester United was Bruno. Because the striker's out injured. He's played pre-season as a false 9, so he's out of position, likely to score more goals, takes a penalties, corners, and everything else. So I've gone with Bruno from United as my United pick.
Fair enough.
Just to.
I don't have any United players.
Go on, Nicholas. Share your squad, then, mate. Share your squad. Let's have a look what yours looks like.
It's your turn. Shame me by showing me a good team. Yeah.
We'll see. So I think you should be able to see my screen now.
It's coming on. Let me just add it. There we go.
Okay. So just a short maybe reasoning. So I made some changes today. I'm not happy with my defense. I have 3 players of 4 million. At least on the paper, this doesn't sound like promising defending for me, but who knows? Yeah, maybe I picked a bargain. At least I hope to see 2 out of those 3 players playing week over week, so I get at least certain points. My 2 fixed picks in defense are Anderson, Danish guy from Crystal Palace, and Trent, obviously.
Yeah.
With goalkeepers, I plan to switch between those 2. I hope they continue this defending record from the previous season, both Palace and then Brentford. So based who is the opponent of each of them, I will rotate my goalkeepers. And then I'm very happy with my midfield. Especially because so
I like
can I ask you about your midfield?
Yeah, sure.
Your inclusion of Diogo.
Yeah.
Like, it seems overpriced, no?
Not really. So I expect him, especially in these first few rounds, I expect him to lead the line because Gakpo came late from Euro. Darwin is Darwin. So I expect Diogo now when he's fully fit. I expect him to provide. I mean, he's the most dangerous player in Liverpool, if you exclude, of course, Salah. So I think 7.5 is fair price. It's not super cool, but it's fair price, especially for first few rounds. Then I will see if he's dropped for Nunez or for Gakpo.
Two things with Jota, Nick, right, that I agree with you there. He's a cheap route into the front 3 at Liverpool because Salah is very expensive. Darwin is unreliable.
Unreliable, totally unreliable. Yeah.
And then Diaz can be hot and cold as well, and there's talk of him moving.
Yeah,
so I think he's a great pick.
He's midfielder, so you can count on more points if he scores or
if Liverpool keep a clean sheet, he's going to get a point for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and
based on his on historical points scored and minutes played, I would say not great, to be fair.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not relying on data. For this game, I'm playing just based on watching the games and my own hunch. So I'm not relying on any data. Really,
I'm really enjoying the different approaches here. I've got to say, one person looking only at data, and one person who actually knows a decent amount about football. So I'm like
totally not looking into data, even though I work with data. So for this, I'm just using like my common sense and watching the games and stuff like that. So
I like it.
Yeah, and I want especially to stress the Smith Rowe. So I expect him to be Palmer of the previous season. Remember, Palmer was like 5 million or 5.5 when he started for Chelsea, and I expect this guy. So he was amazing in Arsenal before the injury, and I mean now he's the record transfer for Fulham, which plays nice football under this Portuguese guy, Marco Silva, and I expect Smith Rowe to rediscover this form. And he was great in summer friendlies. So for 5.5, for me, it's a no-brainer. So best value you can get from midfielders, in my opinion, of course. So the thing I changed, I had one additional defender of 4.5, and I had Joao Pedro as an attack forward. But today I decided to go with Solanke. So I will see. I'm not sure I did a wise decision. I made a wise decision, but we'll see. And of course, I mean, Isak is a guaranteed starter. He's on penalties. He's the main man in Newcastle, which is a good team. So I think this one, Isak and Haaland, they don't require any additional explanation. So yeah, for me it was like Haaland or Salah, and I thought I maybe can have like better options in midfield in this mid-price range than Salah.
It's very hard to get a balanced team with Salah and Haaland in your squad.
Yeah,
I tried it.
It's very hard. It's very hard. Yeah, and I mean, you can pick just one of them as a captain. So is it worth to keep two so expensive players when you can captain only one of them?
Yeah. So I guess Haaland's going to be your captain this week, then, mate. That's kind of the
no. This week is Isak, but we'll see. Probably Haaland will be 90% of my games will be captain. Yeah,
will be captain. Fair enough. Do you have any budget left, mate? Or have you spent it all?
No, I'm on zero now. I had 1.5, but when I switched Joao Pedro to Solanke, I'm on zero now. So
zero. Cool. Well, then I will show you mine then. Now, mine and yours have a little bit of overlap here, mate. So let me...
No one has overlap with my team.
Share screen. Let me find it. Entire screen. This one here. All right, so that's... this is my side, which is very similar to yours. With my goalies, I picked the two from a team, so I've gone for the Brentford keeper.
Okay,
reserve.
I
see. Okay.
All right, so I never have to worry about goalies. If he doesn't, keep them cheap. Right, and looking at I do a bit of both. Then, in truth, I'd like to say I use mainly data and a little bit of my knowledge, but there's definitely some biases creep into my game. Like last year, Haaland I hung on to for far too long when I should have got rid of him. Same with probably the same with Trent. In the defense, I didn't take your approach to the points and the goals conceded. So someone mentioned in the chat Matty Cash. I've got Matty Cash in. I've got Trent and I've got Porro from Spurs. So what I'd like to do with the defenders is find the out of position ones, the ones that play further up the pitch, like Trent, like Cash, like Porro, and Mitchell at Palace. he plays that wing back role as well. So we got a few assists towards the end of last season, which is why he's gone in there. Coming to midfield, I did try with Haaland and Salah. I felt like I was lacking in other places. I thought I was going to lose a lot of points in other positions. So I ummed and ahed. I've had Watkins in Salah's spot, and I've had Salah in. I can't remember which midfielder I swapped out. It might have been Winks. I don't get enough money for that. It would have been one of them anyway. They've been in there. Eze, I think, was the guy. But Eze's on pens for Palace. He creates lots of goals last season. He had really good figures last year. The Chelsea new person, I'm pretty certain, is going to play a 9 or 10. So I think he's going to be up front. So I'll get all the benefits of extra points for his goals. Gordon had a good season for Newcastle last year. Probably should have played more for England in the Euros. So I'll come back to something you said earlier on. I picked Luke Shaw after the last Euros when he came back with the nickname of Schuberto. Season previous to Manchester United with Dyer, he was mediocre. He had a great Euros, and he was all these tweets. Roberto Carlos was telling him how good he was, and he's the next Roberto Carlos he was teamed as. Came back to Manchester United and was just as rubbish as he was for them the year previous. Ended up having to sub him out. So it is quite difficult when you're starting with nothing. I've put Bruno in there because I think Manchester United are going to do better this year in the league, and even if they don't, I think he was kind of everything went through him last year, so they are going to score goals.
That's fair,
and I think he's going to do it. Winks is my budget enabler. They are not expecting him to play. He'll be my first or second sub, but he will play every game. He's not going to score any assists or points. He'll get 2 points for starting, and I hope he doesn't get booked or sent off. Right, that's really why he's in there, so I can
or score his own goal.
Or score his own goal, yeah. And then I've got Solanke, Haaland, and Isaac up front. So I'll be playing a 3-4-3, and I probably captain Bruno or Haaland this week. I'll probably go. I like my captain to be home.
Okay.
And that was my. That's why I'm torn with Salah, because Salah always does well against newly promoted sides. He always scores 2 or 3 goals and assists. So I have this sneaking feeling if I don't switch him back, he'll come back and bite me tomorrow. But it's quite good because not everyone can have him, and that's the other approach I've taken. If you look at some of the data that's available through that API, is the amount of players that are selected by who. Now you can't win FPL in Gameweek 1, but you can be so far behind you're then playing catch up. Yeah. If you like it for a couple of weeks, which is what happened to me last season.
True.
Yeah, I mean, and still transfer window is open, so that's another point to consider.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've gone. A lot of these players are highly selected. There's not a lot of differentials in here, so I'm not expecting to be out in front after this, but I'm kind of expected to be in the pack, which is probably where I'll be comfortable, and look for differentials closer towards the end of the season when you can bring the sort of wild cards and stuff into play. So
and at the start of the season, you can only guess who the differential actually is, right? I mean, until the game week won't start, you have no idea who's going. Other than everyone's choosing Haaland, of course, other than me, right? I think maybe that's I feel like it's a good point about staying with the pack and then making a break later on. Maybe I've a bit too early gone for differential straight away, but I'm gonna stick with no Haaland for now, and then see how it takes me.
Yeah, try and get him back in. Cool. Well, there we go. There's the teams, and let me stop sharing that.
I'm going to say something really nerdy now because I noticed something. So, when you have conversations about data-driven and data-informed and stuff, I love our combination of data-driven, data-informed, and I'm going to do what the hell I want, right? So, someone who uses data around knowledge, someone who just uses data, and someone's just kind of like, I'm just going to. I'm going to go with my gut feeling here.
So have you ever seen the film Mike Bassett, England Manager, Ben?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So Nick is Mike Bassett.
I didn't watch that one. What did you say? What's the name?
Mike Bassett,
England Manager. It's an old film. It's the late 90s. It would have come out.
I haven't watched that one. Yeah.
It's really funny. It's really funny.
It's got some great moments. It's like next week I will be playing 4-4 bleeping 2. I love 2.
And there's lots of jokes about Gaza and David Beckham and all sorts of stuff in there. It's really,
it's a good film.
It's really quite good.
Yeah.
So just time's getting on, and we won't keep this going too much longer. A couple more things to cover though. The new rules we've talked about. I probably need to go and read up on the defensive scoring again. I thought it was bonus points they weren't gonna.
Maybe I misread.
I may have too. So I will go back and.
Maybe someone in the chat can confirm. Maybe someone in the chat can tell us if
anyone
we're
out
right
there.
or wrong.
What's the rules around defender scoring points and conceding points?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the most important rule change this season is about points that you get for goalkeeper scoring. I mean, that's really relevant to the squad that you choose, right? Yeah, you really want you want a goalkeeper who really presses forward. This
So I can only ever recall. I know there's been more than one keeper score a goal over the years, but I can only really remember. I think Alisson did it once for Liverpool reasonably recently, and Paul Robinson did it for Spurs, mate. Probably when you didn't have him in your team, I suspect.
Very likely. If he played well, he probably wasn't in my team. That's a general rule that I like to
general
go
rule.
by there.
And I did look at that. The assist. There were only 2 goalkeepers awarded assists last year as well. So it's like,
oh really?
You really, yeah.
That's quite bad.
Well, consider like Jordan Pickford, the big hoof for Everton, takes from about halfway line. You think there'd be some of those?
If he was at a team who could actually score, maybe he would get a couple of more. But I mean, that's the issue with Pickford, right? Yeah.
Well,
actually interesting that none of us have Pickford in our team, right?
No.
Interesting.
Who?
Jordan Pickford.
Jordan Pickford.
Everton.
Yeah, I had it with my first draft. I had him, but
he was in mine as well. Yeah.
He's 5 million. So
I have 500,000 left. I could upgrade Fleck into, but I'd rather keep that in case I need it for one. Goalkeepers don't generally. You don't want a bad keeper, but I'm not relying on my keeper to score me that many points. If they can save a penalty and keep a clean sheet every now and again. But even the best, like last year, Arsenal were the leading clean sheeters with 16. So that meant there were 20 games or 22 games where they didn't.
But wasn't it last season with Arsenal with their annoying rotational goalkeeper? Was that last season or the season before? I can't remember.
It started like that last season.
Last season, right? That was
just Raya was going to be number 1. Yeah.
Really irritating. Yeah. But no, I mean, regarding the rule changes, I think the accrue in 5 transfers is massive. That's a big change, and I'm looking forward to that because it changes a lot how you can prepare for coming game weeks, even like towards the end of the season when you have stuff like there are going to be fewer blank game weeks. I saw as well, but still there'll be some. So kind of prepare yourself so you can do a bit of that as well as playing. Actually, does that chip still exist? No, actually,
yes, it does.
You got triple captain, bench boost,
triple captain, free hit, bench boost.
There's no free hit. It says triple captain, bench boost, and mystery chip. There's no free hit anymore.
No, I'm pretty certain it's still there. They can't. I think it's not there because you can't play it this week. And there's only info on the mystery chip. I'm pretty certain the free hit still exists, mate. But that free hit is good, like if your team's completely skewed.
Exactly, it got like nothing going on. Yeah.
Ahmed has just said there's no free hit.
Yes, that's and I guess that's because of the fact that you can accrue them.
Yeah. According to the lines, the free hit is still there.
Okay, we'll see.
So it's bench boost, free hit, triple captain, wild card, and mystery chip. It's just you have to play it when you do your transfers.
Understand. Right. Okay, I see what you mean.
Now, but I think now this strategy and then good planning will be decisive. So
yes, definitely.
I generally have a better second half of the season for the first half of the season because I'm pretty good at the planning for the terrible game weeks. Yeah. But I guess, Charlie, as I've shown, maybe I'm just not very good at picking my squad at the start of the season, based on my lack of general knowledge of what's going on in football. Because they say forgetting who's playing where, and also like when Nicola was talking about who did I challenge from his team? Someone, Diego Jota, no?
Diogo, Diogo.
That sort of knowledge that I lack makes it harder to play FPL because I'm just going to be looking at numbers and just kind of going, okay, that's not good, therefore I won't put him in my team. But then you have someone like Nicola who kind of understands the game a bit more, pays more attention to football. So this is also why I'm extraordinarily good at wasting my chips. I mean, my lord. The amount of effort I mean, that's when triple captain, I think last season I was absolutely distraught. I plotted for like a double game week, I think, on Haaland, where they were playing like two very, very average teams. And I got like, I don't know, 22 points from it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is absolutely awful. I was devastated. Yeah.
I just looked up the defender scoring thing while we were off that as well.
Okay.
It's -2. It's -1 point for every 2 goals conceded for a goalkeeper or a defender.
Okay.
So if they concede 2 goals, they take a point off. If they concede 4 goals, they get no points for the game, which is probably...
That's about the same.
I don't know if that's a change. It's definitely changed on the bonus points and how they get awarded as well. So I don't think the defenders are going to be getting many...
That's my strategy screwed. All right. So how long we got? We've got some time left, right?
Maybe some time, mate, yeah.
Maybe I should share my team again at the end of this live stream of all the changes that I've made during.
Benji on here. This is a question I was going to ask. What do you think the mystery chip will be? And he reckons will be unlimited budget and unlimited players from one team. Has anyone? I don't know what it could be. I've got no idea. But what would you like to see it be?
So I can take this one. If you play, guys, Champions League fantasy, I'm not sure if you're playing that one.
I don't play that.
Okay, so there is this chip with unlimited budget for one round, where essentially you can bring like Messi, Cristiano, Lewandowski, Mbappe, and everyone else in your team. Of course, you are limited with positions, but there is no limit in budget, so you can pick all the most expensive players from each position and put them in your team. So that's how it works for years in Champions League fantasy football.
That would be decent. That would be good fun. What I've always thought would be cool, I'd hope for, would be like a game week where you can play like 2 captains, for example. I think that would be quite cool. Or one where you can pick whatever you want, regardless of position. Just do whatever formation you want. But double captain, I think would be quite cool. If you could have one game week where you got 2 captains, that would be quite nice. But I don't know why they would restrict that to the second half of the season. So I'm assuming it's not that.
I think they haven't settled on it yet, which is why they haven't said it.
Could be, could be.
That's actually
they haven't said it up front. So I think they're not quite sure what they're going to do. Because at the end of last season, they introduced, there's a challenge league now as well. So the first one is like pick your best 5-a-side team with unlimited budget and other things. And they did a few last year where there was unlimited players from unlimited teams. You could just basically pick who you want for that game week. So I wouldn't be shocked if it was one of those that came in last year that, just give you a boost. As you say, go on, mate. Sorry.
No, please go for it.
I was just going to say, it remains to be seen. As you say, it's going to be a second half of the season chip to play.
Yeah. I'm pleased that they're doing something with it because I think it did need a bit of a shake-up regarding the chips. I kind of wish they'd gone a bit further and just done a bit more. I don't know. Bench boosts is kind of okay. I don't find bench boosts particularly interesting, and I know there are some FPL. There are some fantasy football, like apparently I think it's Swedish fantasy football. Have got some really interesting chips for theirs. Right. So I kind of wish they'd kind of look around the games from other wherever countries, wherever they may be, and kind of use some ideas there because it's been a while where they've been relatively similar,
Yeah. What I wanted to see, for example, also going back to Champions League fantasy game, where essentially you can make substitutions during the round, during the week. So basically, you have players on bench who play on Sunday.
Yeah.
You're not happy with the performance of your Saturday players, and then you put them on the bench and you put players from Sunday instead of them. Of course, you lose the points from Saturday, but it gives you more feeling like you are influencing things. You are the manager when you can make substitutions. I think it's more realistic. I was hoping to see something like that.
That would be fun, interesting, but I think for someone like me, that would put me at a huge disadvantage because sometimes I don't pay attention to what's going on until so for someone who's really into the game and pays a lot of attention, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
They could take it a step further, and the chip is you actually get to manage a Premier League team. So this game week, I'm manager of Arsenal. I get to pick their squad, okay? I get to pick who starts. I get to pick the formation. So that would be quite cool. Obviously, it would, be Arsenal fans wouldn't be happy because I'd probably pick a terrible team. But just put me in charge of Arsenal for a week is all I'm saying.
Spurs.
So I can pick, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right then, guys.
Some cool stuff.
Go on, sorry, Ben. Sorry, Ben.
No, I'm just saying I'm really looking forward to this season because new chips are cool, but the new rules are quite interesting. And I've mentioned it a few times. I'm going to start repeating myself, but I think the accruing 5 transfers is awesome. This is really going to be very interesting.
You can basically have a wild card every.
Yeah. Oh, your sound's gone. I can't hear you anymore. Maybe it's me.
We lost your sound.
Your dog chewed through the cord, mate. You know.
He took your mic.
How's that? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. The dog. He's still my head in.
I know.
Come and listen to FPL. Listen to my dog bark at you. I forgot what I was going to say now. It's gone.
My 2 are going nuts. You can't hear them, but my 2 dogs are going crazy as well now, by the way. But it's okay. They're in the garden, so whatever. Yeah.
It was the 5 transfers, wasn't it? I think it gives, for people like you, Ben, if you drift out of it for a couple of weeks, they'll just accrue up.
Yeah.
And then you can come back and you can reinvent your team again, and you can catch up. Last season, my start last season, I think I got an injury every week for the first 4 or 5 weeks. So I was always having to make that one transfer out. And that ended up costing me. And I was so far behind that you just chase when you're chasing the game. It's a long way back. But we'll see. It'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to the kickoff tonight.
Just thought of another. One last thing. Just thought of another cool chip. You get to pick. Maybe this wouldn't work. It's not possible. But I still like it. It's like a sabotage chip. You know, you get to sabotage someone else's team. That'd be awesome fun. I would love that, man.
Well, we give them your team. That's the sabotage.
Yeah. It's like putting someone in charge of social media, isn't it?
Sorry, man.
Nicola, the thing is, that was so funny because I walked head first into that joke. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sorry, couldn't resist it. Sorry, man.
That's fair. I got it.
And on that note, guys, we'll draw this to a close. Ben and Nick, thank you very much for joining me. It's been awesome. We'll definitely do this again because it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for taking the time. It looks like we had lots of people join in as well, so that's awesome.
Brilliant.
Good luck with you. Good luck
everyone. Good luck everyone with the FPL. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hope you're better than
we'll chat to you soon.
Bye.